Well, being a poet is not an easy task, need a difficult task. Okay, it depends on you, depends on your focus, and depends on the people around you. Me myself, I got interested on this this field of writing, as I can say, through my teacher at university, Shiongabal, because there we had some subject on literature where we should at least present some writing in less than a week, and it's almost 3 pages, and that was a prose texts, not the poems. That's why since that moment, with teachers pushing, I get. I got used to writing, but I didn't start as a poet.
Okay. How did you start?
So I used to write prose texts.
Okay.
Okay. After then, I thought just
So
writing.
you are in poetry and also in prose.
Of course, in both.
So
But
tell us about prose.
okay,
What is prose? Try to explain that to our listeners.
prose are running texts, okay, which you don't write in verses,
So you
okay,
write objectively.
okay, objectively,
Uh-huh.
but within that objective, you have some techniques on how to attract people reading you. Okay, I start like this.
Can you name any two or three of these techniques? Like what?
Actually, you naming as such, I can't, because it depends on the writer.
Okay.
Okay,
It's a
each
style.
writer has his technique. It's like a style. Okay,
A style of writing.
of course, a style of writing. For example, me myself, I don't like to write objective things. In my text, you always
Subjectively only.
you always find some subjective element, which I believe it will make you think more than just reading, because there are many people writing, just writing. You read his text is okay, that's okay, you understand that, and you say okay, you will not get interested in reading it back because everything is clear. But when you bring some subjectives on what you're writing, some different style which makes people read, think, and reflect on what they're reading, they won't stuck there. They will read today, they will read tomorrow, and actually they will repeat the reading because there are something hidden there that they want to understand. Why did you read that? That's why I like too much reading Adrian Botelho de Vasconcelos when it comes to
He's
poems.
very subjective in terms
He's
of
a
writing.
good writer, and I'm really a big fan of him in terms of writing style. No
What
one
about
writes like him.
what about
Okay.
Juan Maimona?
Well, Jean Mamona, he's a good writer too, and I respect his style. Okay, there is a movement which he follows, where they have a specific way of writing, and when you read him, you read someone else which belongs to the same movement, you understand that they have actually the same writing,
And
just
that movement,
differing in
yeah,
some small elements.
but that movement, does it belong to a
Literate.
generation or to their own generation or?
This is a new generation movement that trying to make their names and raise up their movement, okay, in Angola,
Okay.
and it's going well, okay, but they just have a specific way of writing. They bring their own on, although I can agree that there is nothing new, but they're trying to bend things just to come up with one unique thing which identify them.
Okay.
That's what they've been doing.
Yeah.
And if you read, let me just finish. In terms of prose, I like reading Chinua Achebe. He's a good writer in Africa, and his writing is up to date until now. Okay, if you contextualize,
Where is he from? Nigeria?
Nigeria, of course.
Okay.
And also,
You mean Ashebe?
yeah, yes,
Uh-huh.
that's him.
Yeah, yeah.
Even I forgot the name of the author of that book, Peach of Dora Gray.
Mhm.
That a book of more than 200 pages.
Wow.
We read it, me and my classmate in time,
Mhm.
in 2 weeks, and we had to role play that. So how could we not be good in writing or interesting ourselves in writing
Mhm.
with those kind of tasks? I I still speak with the teacher or lecturer Sean Abali,
Mhm.
and I still telling him I have to thank you for what time today, because before becoming a writer, used to be an actor, okay,
Okay.
in church, but
Okay.
I really usn't like the role I used to get there, and I had to do something not to get rid of God.
Mhm.
Okay. Mm,
But let's talk about poetry.
okay.
In your view, what exactly inspires you to write poetry?
The nature itself, the nature itself,
Uh-huh.
and the activities which appears, which I've been witnessing wherever place
Mhm.
I go, as well as behaviors people have been presenting to the world
Mhm.
as a word as well. No, those all elements inspires me to be who I am and try to transfer those things I've been witnessing in, in terms of in letters,
Mhm.
if I can say like that. Okay.
Have you published any book already?
Yes, I have.
Which one? Can you give us the
This
title?
is a prose
Uh-huh.
mixed with some poems there. It's a Labyrinthos Amorosos.
Mhm.
If you surf on the
So you mean a
internet,
poetic prose? A
I just
prose, a
prose
poetic
and
prose,
poem. Yeah, it is
a
just
mixture.
a unique book. I just mix them, blend them,
Mhm.
okay, in one book.
Okay.
Okay, I brought there some narrative, then I brought some poems as
Subjective
in
things.
terms of verses,
Mhm.
in verses, because I had to introduce people to a word they didn't expect from me. They knew me as poet, but I did it because I had to not to limit myself on just writing and staying there.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
name I have today, that was not because of writing prose,
Mhm.
that because of writing poems.
Okay.
And I got man invitation from churches where I started, even at they said as well,
Mhm.
and that poems
You said you
take
mean
me.
the High Institutes of Education?
Of course, he said one, the High Institute of Education. I got the names doing that,
Mhm.
and I had that dark side which became light, which is writing prose.
Mhm.
Then I decide to meet them to one unique book
Mhm.
where I introduce my admirers that I write prose and I write poems as well,
So
and I
what,
did
what
it.
what did you write in your book?
Actually,
What
I
was the
write things
mission of
which
it?
always happen in our daily routine.
Mhm.
Like, you see, we here in Africa, we have many problems.
Yeah.
If a man doesn't have at least one bone and meet a girl or a woman with the one bone,
Mhm.
it becomes a problem
Yeah.
in our society.
Mhm.
Then I've been fighting that. We African don't think about, okay, someone's heart. Okay, we think on you see, trying to introduce him or her someone who we think like we love that man, that woman, and it doesn't have and bone will be with our and how will make our family or our one of our members happy. We're not. And the book, my first book was like a love, a childhood love. Is like a couple of boyfriend, they crush each other, they start dating, and then the man uh, got got on a sponsor to start abroad. He went abroad, but didn't leave his heart to a man, to a girl. He felt in love. Okay, he went there to start, but due to parents problems, sickness, disease, had to come back. And he met the same woman he used to date in his childhood. So he met him already with two
Kids, yeah.
kids. Now, the girl asked him, "I'm now with two kids, and unfortunately, I work where your grandma, I mean, your auntie has been working too, and she's my boss. Would you like to date me even with two kids? I believe your family will not accept me." Say, no problem. I'm going through this with you because I still love you. Even when where I went, I didn't get anyone because my mind still stuck on you.
Okay.
Okay. They start dating. Okay. After some years, he
This
conceived
is a
the.
great story, man. This is a great story.
Yeah. After some years, let me continue. After some years, he conceived a girl, the same girl with two kids already. They start dating, and then they come that traditional, that's a bridegroom ceremony, okay. And the family realized that the the girl was dating to has already two kids. Then they said, now you have to decide, or stay with us,
I stay with the family.
or you stay with the girl.
Uh-huh.
In this case, he said, I'll stay with her because I love her, not because you want me to stay with someone I feel nothing.
Even
Just
after
because
having two kids with another man.
even having that two kids with another man, of course, okay. He said that I would support the kids and her because that is my feelings, not yours. I won't be happy if I stay with someone else. That the book was like that. I won't finish the history because you have to read it just to understand it deeply. But it's a good
did
history.
you finish it already?
I've already published it, and it's over.
Oh.
It's over. And that is the problem I have.
So that's the pros.
That's the pros
Okay.
with some, and the man was a poet too. That's what he wrote some poems to that to his woman. Okay,
To the love of his life.
of course, to due to the problem was facing to be with her. At the end, he
what can you say
succeeded.
about-
He succeeded on that.
Yeah, but what can you tell us about the Angolan poetry?
Angolan poetry.
The past, present, and the future.
I think writing is a moment, and we got expired through
Things
the
happening at that
specific
moment.
to the specific moment. Okay, the thing which happened 50 years ago, okay, reflected on people who live in that area that time, and they got inspired on that time, and they wrote what they wrote what they wrote, okay. And actually we have to accept that and grant that, because the inspiration doesn't come by anything. You have to live a moment to write. They live that moment, like Agostino Neto, Thomas, Andre, and all other poets or that moment, Jacinto as a Chef Roche as well. Now is there in assembly. I don't know whether he's still or retired already.
An MP?
That is yeah. It used to be.
Okay.
Used to be.
Uh-huh.
Okay. They wrote that according to that moment. Okay. There was living, and in that time, what they were writing was good, and was reflecting the moment. They wanted
But their message was revolutionary.
actually they wanted freedom. Okay, that's why there was revolutionary writer, and until now we've been writing with that line of revolutionary, because we won't spark
But
someone's.
revolution or the time to fight for freedom has gone long.
That's what we think. I think differently about this.
What?
Everything we write, that to spark someone's mind. And when you spark someone's mind, you're being revolutionary. If you're not, you don't spark anyone. I think people has been thinking differently, like yeah, that time has gone. They just right to fight colonizers, to fight against what was going bad from their side, just to let people know that they were suffering and they wanted a freedom. That exactly a wrong thinking.
What about today?
Today we still write to get freedom something, and that the poet
Tomorrow we'll be writing also for freedom?
even tomorrow, because we'll be inspiring people to open their mind to do something they haven't been doing. What is that? That is being revolutionary. Okay, and there are different phases of revolution. There are political revolution, there are social revolution, and there are all other many kind of revolution.
Yeah, you're right.
You're not, you see, you watching your friends there, people's there not eating. You're watching your friends, you're watching many people going to school, yet they can't think as you expect them to think, to bring some changes. You're going, of course, get inspired on that and write about that, just to spark their mind. And when they spark, they will write according to what we not standing to watch. What is that? What is your role between that one who using to write, using to think differently, and you who inspire them to start watching things in the one way using to watch? You're being revolutionary.
So you mean that's the function of poetry? Huh?
Of course.
To inspire
Of
people.
course. Even when you write about love, you're inspiring. You're being a revolutionary, because you want to make people see the other side of being that soft people. Okay? That's being a revolutionary. But people, some of them won't believe with what I'm saying now, because we read the definition dictionary, and those definitions is according to what people think. That's their idea. If we stuck on that, we're not progressing.
You're right.
We're writing for what? Just to write. You once I gave you a book, you read that book, you say, yeah, there are some strong stance
Still
here.
reading that book.
Yeah, of course. What are you still reading? If of course you come across.
I left it next to my bed.
Many people have been sending messages like, yeah, I'm reading, but I'm still trying to understand some issues there.
Yeah, but it's very hard to understand those things because they're more subjective than objective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those elements is to open your mind.
Yeah, but do you think a poetry can be interpreted?
Of course, can, because there is a story written in
subjective
stance,
way.
okay, in
Yeah.
stance and subjective way. You can read them. There is which poet and Adrian Botet de Vasconcelos. He was his poem was role played.
Oh.
There at Tefojor, I think. No. Shadi Kashin, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it was role played on theatre. How is it possible? No story. You see the difference. Let me tell you, make it clear. The difference between prose and
Poetry.
poetry are not huge.
Okay.
The history is the same, but the difference is that in prose you write a story in many pages, while this story
And objectively, you
you
write it
can be
objectively.
objectively honored. It depends on you
Okay.
and what you believe in. Okay. Now, in poetry, you write a story in
Only
100
subjectively.
page. No, not that. On a story of 100 page or 200 page in five
Pages.
not 5 page, 5 verses or stanzas. Why? You take the key elements and you write poem. Just
Wow.
this. Too simple.
Yeah,
Too
but how
simple.
long have you been writing?
Since 2017. Okay.
Do you have new projects in the
A
poetry
lot,
world?
a lot, a lot, a lot. I've released my EP of told poems, okay, entitled Velas Acesas.
You mean
I've recorded some poems,
in,
okay.
in English? Can you translate that?
That
Velas says in English. How can you say that?
I should say, I think
Lit candles.
lighted candles. That is it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. While we have been interpreting light candles like where there is an orbit, where now it is. I've entitled that it like this because I think I've to make people understand that we always need help. Where there is something on, light on, let me say like this, or there is someone there, or something is happening. When we go there, we realize that what people are facing there is good or not. Africa's still crying. Africa still crying. Let me tell you once I wrote a poem like the book I wrote, and it says, I had a lot to display to a nigger. My success, my weakness, my reason why, or the reason why I'm always in a good mood. A nigger sometimes cry. There are pains that don't lie. Face expression expresses it mostly. I had a lot to display to a nigger. A nigger doesn't read. A nigger vomits by eyes contact at the book. Then my mind sparked. My fingers start shed inks to write. However, everything that could open a nigger's eyes in the book I wrote. Giving a nigger a book solution was, and a pillow did put it. Under the bed, a key for success put. The complaints continue to build the nigger's mouth.
Whose poem?
The title
poem
of
is
this poem is the book I wrote.
Oh.
It has to be with the light zone,
So, which means this is your book.
of course. And this is a poem.
Yeah, but when are you going to release it? Did you release it already, or planning to release it?
Actually, I didn't release it yet. I didn't release it yet because I'm planning on writing most of them in English, just to my student as well. I've been teaching English, and Actually, I think through reading, I can make our student get interested on English as well. So I'm planning to release, but not now. But I have some other projects still in Portuguese because I have a lot to
What's are
tell
these projects?
people.
Writing?
Writing, always writing.
Yeah, but tell us about some of them.
Um, I'm
Those
I'm
that you
I'm
feel
trying
like.
to drop the second edition of Ponte Virgula. That Ponte Virgula, that semicolon, if I can say in semicolon. Why? Because while you still have a life, while still God give gift you with the life, you still have a hope, and while you still have a hope, you can do
Anything.
everything you want.
Anything is possible. Right.
That's why it's semicolon.
Mm-hmm.
You put the period when you die. Why you do, that's why when you write, why do you use semicolon? Why? Why do you use semicolon?
Why?
Because you still have a lot of things to say. Semicolon is just to make you breathe.
Which means life goes on.
Life goes on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And as the way life goes on, you can just run. You have some time to pause, to breathe.
Think.
And that breathing is for you to think on how will I keep on my walk. That is semicolon.
Reflection, yeah.
Yeah, that's semicolon. That's why the book, my book, I entitled that semicolon.
Okay.
I will. Sometimes when I
Did you
receive,
have a poem there to read to us? Because we are
of
coming to
course,
close.
I have a poem. Okay,
Yeah, say
and
it, please. Yeah.
let me say it.
1, 2, 3. You got it.
Calm returned. I was worried. I was stressed. How did it even feel to blessed? I had forgotten the peace inside my heart. My chest felt real tight, but then I asked for help from God. Desperated, but with all the faith I got, I looked up to find a clue. What I saw was nothing new. What I saw was just a regular cloud, nothing special, nothing to talk about, but I noticed how it was floating there against a background of just a bluish air. While the cloud hid the sun from sight, it kept moving, and soon I saw the light. Now that floating cloud has moved away, and I see the brightest light of the day. And here I became suddenly aware that my stressors and worries were still there. The cloud, however, made me see that this problem will not forever be with me. Solution I will search for, and I will see the light, and my heart became calm, 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 calm. It will be all right. Thank you.
Wow, 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 wow. A great poem.
Thank you.
Well, uh, Mr. Daniel Solomon, I thank you so much for coming, for accepting our invitation, and for giving us this interview.
That is me thanking you for that opportunity. We always have to be thankful when God buys people like you to see where there are talented people just to show to the world they are gifted to. And you are one of these kind of people which see talent where there is, because that wasn't for you, that was for God. You see talent to me and give me that opportunity, because there are many people still needing that kind of opportunity just to show what they are capable of doing in order to spark people's mind, and they don't have it. They still struggling, and I know that God will still use you to see all other people with that have talent to come here and try to share with you and all people hearing us. In this case, I mean the audience, in order to change their way of thinking and also to believe and keep believing on what they've been doing.
Mhm.
I thank you very much for that, and
You're welcome. You're
I
welcome.
will always count and make myself available whenever you call for an invitation.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, dear listeners, that's it for